When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future updates that I post on my community tab frequently. Now let's continue where we last left off in our Mortal Kombat story. Izuku went to his chambers in the palace when he left the throne room after getting his mission details from Shao Kahn. Izuku, on his way to his chamber, Izuku activated one of his quirks to connect his mind link to his father so they could keep in contact, considering Izuku is in an entire different realm. The moment he felt his dad trying to contact him, he activated his quirk to establish the link between the two of them. What can I do for you, father? Wanted to check up on you. I read the reports of the Mortal Kombat tournament. That sorcerer got overconfident, that pathetic fool. How are things back home? Everything is moving around nicely. We accelerated the Nomu project. It will take a few years to condition all of them, so they will only listen to your commands. How many, father? We have already created 100 of them so far. After all, what you're planning, son, you do need an army at your command. Perfect. All I need to do is just wait. I'll keep you updated, Dad. I'm about to leave for a mission. Already getting missions, are you? It's nothing too important. I'm just to investigate some sort of cave that leads into a cave system. Shao Kahn apparently took a liking to me. I'll leave everything up to you on that end of things, son. Izuku deactivated his connection with that quirk he's using, and basically cut the connection to his father as he stepped out of his chambers to head to the gate of the palace. On his way out of the palace, he stopped and saw someone he thought he would never see again. After all, he did get himself killed. As Kano walks out of one of the rooms and cracking his neck to get the kinks out of his neck from his neck being snapped by Sonya Blade. I'm surprised you're still alive, Kano, considering your neck was pretty much snapped by that blonde chick. Sorcery, Bean Sprout. I'm gonna pay that bitch back for that. Where are you off to, Bean Sprout? I have a mission to complete that I got from Shao Kahn. Nothing too exciting. Do some investigation at some cave system, some missing Katadan warriors and all that. Nothing too important. Sounds boring. Well, hit me up when you get back. I could definitely use a drink. Of course, Kano. Catch you later. Good to see you alive again. Izuku walked out of the palace gates and saw no one, so he leaned against the gate, only for Melina to drop down right next to him. Follow me. Try to keep up. As you wish, princess. Melina glared at Izuku as they both begin to run with incredible speed to their destination. Melina motioned with her hand for Izuku to stop before they entered the living forest after running for several hours. We have to venture through the living forest to get to the cave system on the other side. It will take some time to get through the forest. It would take too long to go around the forest. So once we enter the place, be on guard. Izuku simply nodded at Melina as they both entered the living forest. Izuku clearly recognized the dangers of this forest, seeing the fight between Scorpion and Johnny Cage. When they entered the living forest, it was dead quiet. Only signs of life are the growls coming from the man-eating trees. Izuku heard some noises straight ahead of him. Izuku and Melina took to the treetops to investigate. As they came upon a campsite filled with well-armed men, Izuku suspects they're from the same race as Katana. Are they affiliated with Shao Kahn? No, they're nothing but rebels. Fight. They don't take kindly to my father's rules. This is definitely interesting. Rebels, you say? This is going to be fun. Melina was about to respond to Izuku only to see Deku jump off from the tree and begin to walk towards the camp. Where are you going? Get back here. Relax, princess. I'm just going to have a little fun. This will only take a second. Melina decided this would be the perfect chance to gauge his abilities, to see how skilled he is. And that little spar they had wasn't enough to gauge his capabilities. So she decided to watch Deku for now. There's all sorts of the emotions she's been feeling ever since she met her green-haired companion. She's still trying to sort out all these emotions she feels for him. Izuku slowly approached the campsite while the rebels were all sitting around the campfire, drinking and celebrating the success attacks on one of Shao Kahn's military bases. They attacked earlier today. There is around 30 to 40 rebels, all celebrating a successful mission. The rebels saw someone approaching their camp. They immediately took out their swords and point at the direction of the stranger, walking out of the shadows. Reveal yourself, stranger. As Izuku stepped out of the shadows, revealing himself to the rebels. Relax, man, it's just a kid. What are you doing here, boy? This forest is not the really safest place to be. Especially this time of night. Izuku laughed nervously and scratched the back of his head in a nervous posture. With a innocent expression on his face, I kinda got lost. I was hunting some food for my family and kinda got lost in the forest. Ever since Shao Kahn took power, my family has been struggling. You know how it is. Dictator and all that. Oh, how bad it is, like everyone else. We are all suffering because of that bastard Shao Kahn. When one of the rebels extended his hand outwards towards Izuku, as he introduced himself to the kid, when Izuku got close enough, with a smile on his face, he rammed his hand through the man's chest, ripping out his heart. With a smile on his face, his blood splattering over his cheek of his face, alerting the rest of the rebels. Izuku's eyes begin to glow green, as is his smirk on his face, staring down the small army of rebels. Kill the brat! 5 rebels charge Izuku, so eager to rush to your death, as he has a grin on his face that turned into a vicious smile. All 5 of the rebels pull out their swords and swung at Izuku, only to see their blades shatter into a million pieces when they make contact with Izuku's skin, surprising the rebels. What a shame your toys broke. In an instant, Izuku kicked one of the rebels in the stomach as he went flying into the mouth of one of the trees as it begins to munch on the rebel, screaming while the tree is eating him. Fatality, as Izuku has a massive grin on his face. As another rebel rushed towards Izuku, noticing he's distracted by one of his comrades being eaten by one of the living trees in the living forest, only to see his opponent catch his fist in the palm of his hand and begin to crush his fist as the rebel is forced to down to one knee. Izuku used his opposite hand to karate chop the man's head off of his body as the body fell limp to the ground. And Izuku let go of the man's hand after he knows he was dead. Out of the 5 rebels, there's only 3 remaining that charged Izuku. Izuku simply began to dodge and weave around his opponents, with their fellow rebels all drawled out their blades. As Izuku begins to maneuver around the sharp, pointy objects, Izuku went backwards to dodge a sword swing to his neck as he tilt his back backwards. When another sword swing came his direction, Izuku grabbed onto the sword, or grabbed the wrist of the rebel, redirect his blade, the rebel's blade, into his comrade's chest that was charging Izuku from behind, forcing him to kill his own comrade. Fortunately for Izuku, the last 2 are in arm reach, as he grabbed both of them by the head and slammed their head into the ground as their head explode from the pure physical force Izuku unleashed. Well, gentlemen, I'm a bit of a dilemma right now. I can't make my mind how I'm going to kill the rest of you. I'm open to suggestions. Everyone, kill the bastard. Charge. You're no help, as Izuku begins to dodge and weave around the whole army that are trying to kill him. Izuku kicked one of the rebels that jump in the middle of the air, swinging his sword down towards Izuku to chop Izuku in half, only to get a boot in the stomach as Izuku caught the sword in midair when the rebel let go of his weapon. When he got booted in the stomach, Izuku immediately began swinging the sword the moment he caught it in the air, as the bodies begin to drop to the ground dead. Izuku spin around and use his opposite hand that's not holding a sword to point his index fingers while he's in motion, as he simply says, as Izuku simply said, lightning bullet barrage, as several small lightning shots pierce several rebels that are in the front row or facing Izuku, drop dead to the ground. He couldn't revel upon his action for long, as a humongous hammer comes swinging downwards, ready to smash his skull in. Sorry about this, Liu Kang, but I'm going to have to borrow one of your moves, as green fire erupts from Izuku's left fist as he punched the hammer, shattering it in a burst of fire that proceeds to shoot outwards once he made contact with the battle hammer, killing a small portion of the rebel forces. Then he immediately threw the sword, piercing the rebel in the chest, killing him instantly as he gets pinned to the tree. That proceeded to eat him while he was in reach. Oh, but damn, I didn't think that would actually work. I suppose I should give it a cool name. What do you think, gentlemen? More silence. You guys are no help at all. I suppose I should finish up here. And I could tell my companion is getting irritated. Izuku turned his head to see Melina, clearly irritated by his actions. She might have half of her face covered with that mask, but Izuku could tell by her eye contact that she wants him to hurry up and finish up and stop goofing around. A battle axe comes swinging towards his direction, stopping his monologue. The battle axe stopped mere inches away from Izuku's face, stopping it with his telekinesis. Izuku lifted up every rebel in the air with his telekinesis, while the rebels are struggling, trying to break whatever power Izuku's using on them. Every rebel at the same time die instantly by their heads exploding, as blood begins to rain down upon this forest. Well, rain down upon the living forest. The blood rain stopped raining down on the living forest. Melina approached Deku. Now you had your little fun. Let's go. At your command, princess. As he gave Melina a mocking bow, only to get sucker punched in the arm by Melina. Melina was quite entertained by his performance. She would never show it, but she found Izuku quite amusing with his banter while he's slaughtering the rebels. As they made it out of the living forest after a few hours, Izuku followed Melina into one of the cities in Outworld to rest for the night. They walk deeper into the city and stop in front of a building for lodging. Izuku assumes it's some sort of inn or hotel. Melina greeted the innkeeper and paid for the room as she grabbed onto Izuku, grabbed the collar of Izuku and began to pull him along as the innkeeper begins to giggle at the two of them. Izuku smiled at the clerk and waved her goodbye while being dragged down the hall by his very aggressive female companion. When Izuku was finally dragged into the room, he saw only one bed as he raised his eyebrow at his companion. Shut up, I forgot the rest of my money. I only had enough for one room. You go in the bathroom, get cleaned up. You're covered in blood. And no smart-ass remarks, please. You're no fun. Izuku entered the only other room that's in the chamber, the room they're staying in, only to see a pool of water that resembles a very big jacuzzi. Izuku got undressed and entered the body of water, relaxing his muscles. Izuku was enjoying himself. He didn't hear the door open from behind him as Melina comes in completely naked and enters the pool of water, not covering. She's revealing her naked body to Izuku. She would have killed anyone else that seen her naked form, but oddly, she didn't mind when it came to her green hair companion that's been staying at the palace. Izuku noticed her getting into the water as he raised his eyebrow at Melina. Izuku has seen many naked women during his time as an assassin for the League. He's not new to the naked female form. As Izuku gave Melina a suspicious look. Don't give me that look. Soaking in a bath seems relaxing, so I wanted to join you. And judging by your expression, you're not disappointed. This gives us a chance to get to know each other. As Melina got up and walked over towards Izuku, exposing her upper body, she gently placed her finger under Izuku's chin, making eye contact as she's gazing in his emerald eyes. Because I find you very intriguing, Deku. What Melina did next surprised Izuku and herself as well. Now she sat on his lap, facing him. No, Princess, getting to know each other doesn't require you to saddle me like this. But I'm not complaining. I know, but it's more comfortable this way. Oh well. You first, Princess. As he stared at her in the eyes, with a grin on his face. Melina simply took off from her mask and kissed Deku on the lips, carefully her own lips. She has a smirk on her face after she broke the kiss, getting a reaction out of her green-haired companion. She's extremely pleased with herself and getting a reaction out of him. Well, that was quite nice. So what you want to know? Wait, you're not disgusted by my face? Most people are, at least that lived. Where I come from, people come in all shapes and sizes. Your very sharp teeth on the side of your cheek doesn't bother me one bit. Now that I have a full view of your face, you're quite beautiful, and the very sharp teeth on the side of your face gives you a exotic and dangerous look. That simple remark got a reaction from Melina. She started to get bright red on her face as she jumped off of Izuku's lap and sat right next to him, slightly embarrassed. She turned her head to look at her companion, but only she found on his face was a simple warm smile. No deceit in his facial expressions. I'll go first then. As you know, my name is Melina, and I'm the daughter of Shao Kahn. Let's just say my birth wasn't the average. I was created by that disgusting snake using sorcery and some other methods. Only a few people know of my existence. I'm technically Katana's younger sister. I was created from the DNA of the original me that died during childbirth before Sindel died. Mother-in-law. Let's just make things perfectly clear. Just because I find you interested and fascinating doesn't mean I have any affection towards you. That kid's beg to differ, princess. Shut up. Now your turn. I might as well, Melina. For starters, my real name is Izuku Midoriya, son of All for One. And where I come from, I am what you call a villain. One of the bad guys. It really all depends on how you look at things from different point of views, but that's not really important. As they talk for a few hours, starting to get to know each other, talking about themselves. After getting dressed, Izuku was about to lay down on the ground until Melina command him to lay down on the bed with her. Bed. We're gonna be leaving early in the morning, so we should get some much rest as we can, and I can't have you sleeping on the ground. I won't allow you to jeopardize your performance tomorrow by having a stiff back. Izuku shrugged his shoulders. He knows Melina wasn't telling the full truth, or what her motives. He can't really pinpoint what her motives really are, but he's too tired to argue, as the bed is clearly big enough for the both of them. The bed is big enough for several people, so he didn't mind. Izuku fell asleep pretty fast, while Melina was tossing and turning, as she turned around to poke Izuku in the cheek. Well, poke on the side of Izuku's cheek, noticing he's not responding, noticing he's fast asleep. So she got closer and laid her head against his chest, enjoying the scent and the warmth he gives off, Melina instantly fell asleep, more relaxed, as she drifted off to sleep instantly when her head made contact with his chest. Next morning, Melina woke up first so he doesn't see what position she's in by laying against his chest. She knows by now he'll probably would give her a smartass remark. To avoid such irritations, she made sure to get up first. Izuku woke up shortly afterwards and stretched as they both head out of the inn and began to walk out of the city. They got onto the road and they began to walk. They began to walk in pure silence. Izuku decided to break the silence. So where's this cave exactly? In the mountain region. The Outworld begin to merge with other realms. It created certain terrain all around the planet. I believe the mountain terrain was originally part of Adenia. Makes sense. I've noticed in Outworld many unique terrain, more than back at home. Izuku and Melina can see the mountain terrain in the background. The only way to get to the mountain area is to walk on a large stone bridge connecting both sides from each other from the cliffside that they're standing on. Izuku and Melina made their way over to the bridge and began to cross it while holding light conversation with each other. After crossing the bridge fairly fast, they got to their destination as Izuku saw some sort of entryway like a mine. You notice several mine carts scattered all around with some sort of rocks in them. It looks pretty old, and by the judge of the rust, it's been abandoned for a while. Come on, let's go. Just be mindful going in there. The mines probably are not very stable. The mines are connected to the cave that leads deeper into the mountain. It hasn't been operational for years. And if we come across anything, just be mindful. We're in the tunnel. I have no interest in being trapped. Do you know why the mine was abandoned? According to what I've been told, all the mine workers were mysterious, all killed. No one knows what really happened. Everyone stays away from this mine. We're gonna have to go in and cut through the mine to get to the caves, to the cave systems. The cave entrance is at the other side of the mountain, and I don't feel like walking around there. It's easier this way, and cut our time several days. I'm not complaining one bit. It's more convenient this way. So what are we waiting for, princess? Let's go into the abandoned and probably not well maintained mine, and God knows what creatures we'll find in there. Sounds fun. Who knows? We might find why the mine workers were killed, as Izuku begins to whistle a catchy tune while his hands in his pockets while entering the mine. Izuku raised his hand up in a night green fire in the palm of his hand to light up the dark tunnel until he found some sort of lantern that mines usually have. He figured they would come across it sooner or later. He figures there won't be much of a difference between mines in this realm and mines back in his realm. Izuku noticed the deeper they went, the more skeletons they come across. Izuku finally found a lantern as he begins to light the lantern up with his fire. As he dispersed it from his hand, Izuku lit Melina's lantern as well when she reached out to grab one. As she gave Izuku a silent thank you by the nod of her head. As they continued through the mine, they followed through the tunnel until the tunnel led them to the end of the tunnel, end of the tunnel, revealing a mine elevator leading further down below the mine. I gotta say, Melina, that's one creepy looking elevator. Black metal, black spikes, skulls. Oh, and blood. Neat. Very neat. Nice touch. It looks like one of those creepy elevators you would find in one of those RPGs. RPGs? What the hell is that? It's a perfect genre of video games. Here, as he tossed Melina his handheld video game device that he carries with him to kill some time before missions, Izuku entered the elevator with Melina. Izuku noticed his companion has her full attention on the handheld device that's in her hands. Izuku pressed the button of the elevator to begin their descent further deeper into the mine, while Melina is clearly enjoying herself. Is this what you prefer as a video game? Pretty much, it's just a handheld version. It's very entertaining. Is there any fighting? If there's any fighting, you take care of it, right? No problem, princess. I wouldn't dream of having you do such actions that's clearly beneath you. As the door to the elevator finally began to open up, as they finally got to the deepest that the elevator able to travel. A step out of the elevator. I heard from Father that you'll be taking part in the next Mortal Kombat tournament in Outworld. Once we force Raiden to agree to it. That's to be expected now that I know how this Mortal Kombat tournament works. I am fully confident in my abilities. They finally got to the end of the tunnel, leading to a small chamber where there's several mining equipment in the chamber. In the middle of the chamber, Izuku found 3 dead Katadan warriors on the ground. When Izuku and Melina entered the small chamber, the dead Katadan warriors began moving, getting up and moving very oddly. Well, this is interesting. Izuku noticed Melina is leaning against the stone wall, still playing the handheld device that he handed over to her. I didn't think she would I didn't think she was serious. Well, no matter. I need to work out all the kinks in my body anyways. This would be a good morning exercise. Izuku, I suggest you show no mercy. They're already dead, judging by how they're moving. They most likely been infested with a parasite in their body somewhere. Try to be careful. They're a nasty bunch. A parasite, you say? As Izuku walked forward, while stretching out his arms, approaching the dead controlled Katarin warriors. Izuku noticed the round puncture holes on each of their dead bodies, like something ate their way through the body. And there's a very large amount of drool coming from their mouths. It didn't take long for one of them to charge at Izuku wildly like a savage beast. Izuku simply kicked the Katarin out of the way as the other two begin to charge Izuku. Izuku began to dodge and weave around the two Katarin warriors, while the third one is just getting back up to his feet. While dodging the wild attacks, he analyzed how much control the parasite has over the Katarin bodies. Izuku's quite curious if they're able to use the Katarin abilities like their arm blades. The moment he saw that the three parasite infested Katarin warriors all unleash all their arm blades at the same time. Figures. I need to stop jinxing myself. Izuku was forced to duck under a blade of all three of the Katarin warriors' arm blades at the same time. Izuku used the small burst of psychic energy to blast all three of the Katarin warriors into the wall of the chamber. The infested top of the Katarin warriors shot backwards in all three directions, hitting the wall of the chamber, cracking some of the rock when they made contact. Izuku simply waited to one of the Katarin warriors to recover and rushed forward. The moment it got to his feet, it immediately rushed towards Izuku, growling and saying nothing, growling and saying nonsense, not able to form a actual, word. Green electricity begins to emanate off of Izuku's body. The moment the Katarin warriors got into striking range, Izuku slammed his fist into the chest of one of them. As you could hear a loud scorching noise, followed up with a slight shock noise from the electric punch Izuku dished out like a overpowered stun gun. You could clearly hear screeching noise from the inside the body, from the large hole that's in the chest of the Katarin warrior. Izuku noticed the Katarin warrior he struck open its mouth widely. A big purple spiked worm shot out of his mouth towards Izuku. Izuku shot out green fire out of his mouth, vaporizing the worm, flying towards his face. As the Katarin warrior dropped to the ground, motionless, without the parasite in his body controlling it, it's become harmless again. Izuku couldn't examine the body further by the two remaining parasite-infected Katarin warriors charging at him at the same time. Izuku rushed forward, leaving after images of himself as he slammed his fist into the gut of one of the Katarin warriors. To his right, Izuku maneuvered around the Katarin on his left. When it began to attack, leaving after images of himself, confusing the parasite, Izuku uppercut the Katanen in the middle, in the air. Instead of falling down, it remained airborne as Izuku extended his hand outwards towards the floating dead Takaden warrior that's been infested by this weird worm that Izuku finds interesting as it begins to crush begin to crush the body with his telekinesis until there's nothing but a round meatball of flesh crushing the parasite inside the body. Izuku was about to turn around to turn his attention to the last Takaden parasite infested, only to feel a fist landing across his face. As he goes skidding backwards a little bit from the force of the attack. Impressive. That nasty worm not only can control the body and use whatever abilities they have, but they also increase their strength to a Takaden. That's an impressive feat. Still scary thought. Fascinating. I must capture a specimen for myself for experiments. Unfortunately for you, my little worm friend, I'm gonna have to kill you. Izuku pointed his index finger towards the Takaden warrior and simply said, "Lightning bullet barrage," as several shots of electricity shoot out of his fingertips, piercing the head and heart, followed up blasting green fire out of his mouth, vaporizing the body. Let's go, princess. That's probably not the last of them we're going to see. Handled that pretty well. Here. And she tossed Izuku the electronic device. That was really fun. But I need to get back into the mission. Can't be slacking, can I? Can't have you all do all the work. Izuku caught the small gaming device and put it in his pocket dimension that he likes to store things that he was gifted on his 10th birthday from his father. It's not a very useful quirk in battle, but it is very convenient. I was surprised you didn't capture one of them. You seem very interested in the parasite worms. Those two were too old. I need to find a younger specimen. Have these fascinating worms have been named yet? No. These type of worms are not very well known. I've only heard Father mention them a couple of times. How many Takaden warriors went missing? Around 200. They were planning to make this mountain into a base of operation. That's a very large number. And I'm just assuming all of them have been taken over by these parasites. Get moving, we have a mission complete. Before I forget, while we're in public, just refer me as Deku. I would prefer not to let anyone know that you know my real name. Not even Shao Kahn. Not even Shao Kahn know my real name. That's reasonable, as long as you provide me more of these video games. That could be arranged. Good. I expect to keep your end at the bargain, Izuku, or I'll be forced to hurt you. And I'd rather not do that, oddly. Of course, princess. I would never dream of backing out of our deal, as Izuku winked at Melina in a playful manner, as they both begin to walk out of the small chamber room into another tunnel on the other side to continue on with their mission. And that's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.